Today we are jumping right back into our piano music writing lesson. So before we begin, let's go ahead and review what we've done the past 2 days so that we can better prepare for what we're going to be doing today. So the first day, we just read the passage all the way through, and then we examined our writing prompt. We were able to pick out the bossy sentence, and we identified that sentence as explain how Henry's choice was difficult and why he did it. And then it said to use 3 or 4 sentences to answer the writing prompt. So then on the following day, we reread our prompt a bunch, and then we went back in our passage and we underlined or highlighted or circled the sentences in our passage that support our overall claim. So we were able to get some evidence to back up our answer so that when we get to today's lesson, it just flows and we know exactly what to go back and look for when answering our writing prompt. So that leads into today's lesson. Today's lesson is all about brainstorming and planning what we're going to be writing about for tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to actually write our rough draft copy, and then on Friday will be our last lesson, and it's going to be just the final copy. You're going to finalize and edit and just make sure that you're submitting your best work. So today, jumping right into it, we're talking about brainstorming. And brainstorming is when you think about what you want to write, and maybe you jot it down on a note-taking guide. So today I have just a plain piece of notebook paper, and I'm going to be writing down my thoughts so that tomorrow when I go to write my rough copy, I have all my thoughts there and I just need to put it into an actual writing piece. So today, it's okay if you're not doing full sentences. It's okay if it's not your best handwriting, because this is just for you to see to help you for tomorrow's lesson. So let's start with just our intro. Our intro should have to do with or relate to our overall writing prompt. So let's look back at our prompt. And it says, explain how Henry's choice was difficult and why he did it. Well, we could make an intro sentence out of that by stating, Henry's choice was difficult because da-da-da-da. Or Henry chose to make this decision because. So I'm not going to write the full sentence, but I'm just going to write Henry's choice was difficult because. Okay, so then I know tomorrow I can go back and add to that. So that's just one frame you can use, but you guys use your own creative thoughts and just kind of reword that how you want to. Alright, so then let's just jump into our evidence. I know yesterday we went and I actually went back and underlined these sentences that work as my evidence, so it's going to be easier to find. So we all underlined number 4 in the passage, and there's a couple sentences in there that answer the overall writing prompt. So I might just go ahead and jot those down. So the first one was he used the same music as Daniel. Which tells why he did that, why he chose to share his music. It's because they used the same one. Then it said Henry had been losing items lately. So he had been losing items. So that might be another reason he helps. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody loses items. So I'll help you out because I'm in the same boat with you. And then it says his mom might be frustrated if he did not come back with his music. So that would be why it was difficult. His mom might be frustrated. Might be frustrated. And again, this doesn't have to be like your best writing. It doesn't have to flow or anything. This is just so you know, and this is just something you can use for tomorrow. Let's go down to number 5. We said Henry felt bad for Daniel. That's what we underlined. So that might be why he did it. He felt bad for him. All right, and then number 6, it says, I forget things too. I'm not going to rewrite that because it says he's been losing items. So that's kind of the same thing. And then I also underlined number 10, I wanted to help my friend. So he wanted to help a friend. Okay, so these are just my notes that I jotted down really quickly, and this is just going to help me with my last writing piece. So I know what to look for. There's my evidence. It's on my planning page. I don't even have to go back to the passage because I already wrote it down right here. Okay, so then after the intro and after our evidence, the support, and our explanation, we have to have a conclusion. Every good writing piece ends with a conclusion. So, in your conclusion, it's always a good idea to go back and reiterate your writing prompt. So, our writing prompt said, explain how Henry's choice was difficult and why he did it. So, in my conclusion, I'm going to want to sum up that and say something about the overall writing prompt. So, my conclusion might say something like, that is why his choice was difficult. Choice was difficult. You could say, and that is why he did it. This is why Henry decided to share his music. Just something to sum up the overall writing prompt. The conclusion is always kind of like your bow tie. At the end of your present, you just sum it up, and that's your final statement about the writing piece. So, this is what my writing plan looks like. So far, I have the intro up here. I wrote down the evidence pieces here, and then I put the conclusion down here. Another important or helpful tool that I might add to my writing plan is transition words. I know Miss Logan has talked a lot about transition words in your writing pieces and how it just makes it that next step. It makes it that third grade writing. And so we want this to be a really good writing piece. So I might draw a little line, and at the bottom, I'll think about some transition words. Some possible ones that you guys might be able to use would be then, in addition to, just anything like that. Although, if you might be comparing something, although this was a difficult decision, he did this. These are just some possible ones that I've written down, but I don't want to give you too many because I want to see what you guys come up with. So, transition words are just those words that are going to make your writing piece that next level, and it's just going to make all of your evidence, and from your intro to your evidence to your conclusion, flow. So it's those words that just make everything flow naturally, and it just adds some flavor to your overall writing piece. So I'll show you it one more time. We have the intro, evidence, conclusion, and then some transition words down here at the bottom. This doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be the best writing you've ever done, because this is just a plan. This is just rough draft, just getting your ideas on paper so that tomorrow you know where to look, and you don't even really have to go back to your passage at this point because you've already written it down on your plan. So tomorrow we will be using this writing plan to write our rough draft copy of our response to the writing prompts, and then Friday we're going to finalize and edit our writing piece so that it is our best work to turn in to us. So yeah, I'm excited to be doing this with you guys, and I hope you're having fun with it. I miss you, and I hope you're enjoying your time at home. I'll see ya.